We need those funds.
Okay. Okay. And so, Mr. County Manager, Madam CFO and COO, can you speak to this funding? And what is the situation with this $2.46 million that the DA is saying she was supposed to receive? Is she going to receive it? Is there a, I mean, explain if you can, please.
Yo, One Life family. What's going on, everybody? I want to welcome y'all to the channel, man. Thank you for tuning in. I am your host, One Life Star, man. Today, y'all see the title, man. I want to go into some very important things about the Fani Willis case. I've been talking about the Fani Willis case, but I feel like this is something that's needed because I want people to get a full understanding as to why Fani Willis is not and will not face criminal charges, why it's not a misuse of funds, and what's actually going on, okay? So, I've been a part of Fulton County the majority of my life. I've been in Fulton County jail the majority of my life, Fulton County probation, courthouses. So I'm very familiar with the things that are going on. However, when this situation occurred, and we're going to get into all of this, okay? Because I want people to really understand what they're talking about, because people don't understand what they're talking about. People are just talking. Then you have content creators and people on YouTube who say these things and haven't done half of their research. They don't know what they're talking about. They're just repeating wrong information, okay? They're repeating wrong information. Ashley Merchant and the Trump administration had Fani Willis up there for a hearing, and people have seemed to somehow got that misconstrued with a trial, okay? She was having a hearing, and apparently they didn't have the information correct and the things that they needed, which is Ashley Merchant, to, you know what I'm saying, to have Fani Willis in a compromising situation. They brought Fani Willis to the hearing expecting for her to incriminate herself. Now, law enforcement will tell you the first thing in law is you got the right to remain silent, because anything you say can and will be used against you in the court of law. So for her to be at that hearing and answering the questions the way she did only protected herself, which I don't see nobody not doing, okay? Now, the thing with the hearing where everybody started trying to say that Fani Willis misused funds, she did this and she did that, there's no evidence of this. You're only going off of what was said in a hearing. But if you actually listen to Fani Willis and the things that she said in the hearing, people will have a much better understanding as to what's going on. Hence, okay, I want people to understand when she said what she said about taking the trips and paying the man back and things of that nature. First of all, people have to understand, okay, people don't even know, you know what I'm saying, the circumstances surrounding that situation with her paying Nathan Wade back, or how that was even worked out between them, okay? There's nothing illegal about Nathan Wade, a man who she was interested in and, you know what I'm saying, possibly dating at the time or after the time, whatever, to take a trip to Belize. Okay, the Belize trip was a trip that she took. They went over there to Belize for his 50th birthday, okay?
Like, I don't consider him having taken me anyplace. Let me just be honest. The only one that's ever taken somebody someplace is for his 50th birthday. I consider that I took him to Belize. And I took him to Belize because, you know, I don't want to discuss his personal business, but I'm happy Mr. Wade is still here with us. And I did 50 big. Very big.
Whatever reason, she was saying that she happy that Mr. Nathan Wade is still here with us, so she did 50 for him big. Now, I can't tell you how many brothers didn't make it to 50 years old. So for them to go to Belize for his 50th birthday, it's not outrageous. That's not misappropriating funds. Now, I want to bring it back. That's why she ain't facing no charges, because she hasn't done anything illegal. People just took it when she said that she paid the man back as, I guess, oh, well, she paid him back out of government funds or out of grant money, out of things like that. That's not what happened. She just paid the man back. It don't matter if she paid him. Paying somebody back in cash is not illegal. Okay? It's not illegal. I'm in a business, which is the barbershop business, where people still use cash a lot of the times. Although things have switched over to digital money and things of that nature, a lot of the times people still use cash. That's not illegal. If you see what I'm saying? And because people have to understand her situation as to why she may have this type of money on her, type of cash on her. People that's not from Fulton County and that's not from, you feel me, certain parts of life not gonna get it. For you to be in a compromising situation, to being a district attorney is just like being a judge or anything else, even a blogger nowadays. It can be very dangerous. So you may, and you see what I'm saying? You may have to pick up and move at the drop of a dime. And you might need that cash on you because I can't get to the bank right now. Or I might have to move around. Like Fani Willis told y'all, and I done told y'all this before too. She don't rock with them gangs. Her life was threatened behind the YSL RICO trial. Come on, y'all, keep up with me. It's not unnormal for a person who may have to up and move or who is looking over their shoulder to keep large amounts of money on them. That's just, anybody can tell you that. I may have to up and move. Now, and as I'm making this video, I'm going to be going back and playing videos in between so that y'all can see what I'm talking about and have a clear understanding as to why Fani Willis never misappropriated funds. Okay? Because, again, people don't even know what the funds, what the guidelines for using the funding was. I do. Okay, you have to listen to the commissioner meetings. You got to listen to the town hall and the city hall meetings to even understand what the money was used for or what the money was approved for. Fani Willis had to go to the commission's board for them to even approve the money that they had given her. Because when she came in office after Paul Howard, which was the district attorney in Fulton County for over 20 years, nobody ran against Paul Howard. Paul Howard got hit and had Fulton County under investigation and things like that about the misuse of funds initially. Fani Willis worked under Paul Howard. When she seen that things were moving on and she seen what was going on, she said, okay, I'm finna run against him because I want to fight these crimes. I want to stop some of this stuff that's going on. I want to help out around here. She told the people what she needed running for district attorney. They told her, okay, well, we're going to give you this, we're going to give you that, we're going to give you this. But the truth of the matter was, no one expected for Fani Willis to beat Paul Howard. Come on now, y'all keep up with me one life. They didn't expect for Fani Willis to come into this race and beat Paul Howard, an over 20-year vet who been had full count on lock. When she did that, now the ball game changes because we got to give you the money and the funding that we promised you prior to you getting into this office. Okay? Because now you don't want. So now Fani Willis is going to the commissioners meeting. Mind you, she just not coming in the game. So they telling her, okay, well, you can't just show up at the meeting. You got to be on call or you got to be, you feel me? You got to be on the roster or whatever. I think 2 meetings beforehand or something like that to even speak at the thing. So when she figured that out, now she was able to come to the meetings and tell them what's going on. Now I'm going to play the video of the commission meeting so y'all can get an understanding. So y'all can get an understanding and we going to goddamn move forward. Because people just talking and don't know what they talking about. Fulton County District Attorney Office and jail has been crap on top of crap for over 20 years, y'all. Fani Willis, and we're going to get into this, you feel me, they've been trying to sabotage this lady since day one, okay? Now, let's break down some of the things that we've already went over to see if y'all have kept up with me this far. One life.
I heard of ORCA. What does the acronym stand for? Can somebody...
I actually learned the other day after you asked me that question that ORCA is actually not an acronym. It's what they have referred to for this COVID backlog. ORCA, and I can't make this up, is a big whale. I guess they thought because this is a big problem, they would call it that. I didn't make it up, but we need those funds.
Okay. Okay. And so, Mr. County Manager, Madam CFO and COO, can you speak to this funding? And what is the situation with this $2.46 million that the DA is saying she was supposed to receive? is she going to receive it? Is there I mean, explain if you can, please.
I've told this, I don't say anything behind someone's back, I don't say to their face. And what I have told your county manager, your employee, is I don't have the bandwidth anymore for these games. I need to get to the business of solving crime.
It ain't your money. It's been approved here, and I'm going to spend it accordingly.
Reading the ARPA website information, it said specifically that President Joe Biden set aside these funds that are that can be used toward law enforcement and can be used toward preventing violence and funding peace. So I would like to see that you go back and add a line for these things and let us know what can we fund through ARPA so that we can at least have something to move forward.
Okay, so with Fani Willis' situation, I want y'all to see that the funding that she was getting was approved not only by the commissions board, you see what I'm saying, but also the funding that she was asking for initially, this was 2 years ago when this situation first got started, was approved by Joe Biden. Okay, the president of the United States. So she's making sure that everything that they're doing is within the guidelines. The only problem that she was having was actually getting the money and the funding that she needed. That's why Marvin Arrington, which is the commissioner that's named in the lawsuit with Fani Willis, was up there telling them, look, this is ridiculous. Give them the money, find out what it is they need, give them the money. There's no reason they should have to come down here to the council meetings and these meetings to ask for money for funding to do their job.
I want to say it's unintentional. But then when I look on the agenda and I see Commissioner Hausman talking about, oh, we passing the lowest millage rate ever. Fuck the lowest millage rate. We gotta get these people locked up. They gotta be arrested. I don't give a darn about no damn low millage rate. Where's the money that the DA's office needs? Where's the money that the sheriff's office needs? Where is the cooperation that they need? It's not even really the money. Where's the cooperation? They gotta spend 1,000 hours to negotiate a damn lease and then gotta come down here and wait 10 hours to fucking speak, and y'all won't give them the money that they need? You won't cooperate with them to give them, to be able to hire the people that they need? That's preposterous, Mr. County Manager.
Voters have just over an hour to cast their ballot in the primary runoff. The biggest race we are watching is the Fulton County District Attorney seat. Paul Howard has held the seat since 1997, but his challenger, Fani Willis, worked in his office for years, and she accuses him of rampant corruption. We have teams covering both campaigns for you tonight. Naima Abdullahi has more on what Howard's campaign is expecting.
Paul Howard is running to keep his seat as the district attorney of Fulton County, now wrapping up his 6th term, hoping for a 7th, and he's been holding that position since 1997. Howard says he's the right person for the job because he's the best candidate to represent Fulton County. It's the biggest and most heated race locally, and there has been a heated back and forth between the two candidates. In the June 9th primary, there was a 3rd candidate in the race. He's since dropped out and put his endorsement behind Howard. Willis received 42% of the votes back then, Howard about 34%, and the 3rd candidate received 22%. Howard says now that it's a runoff between him and Fani Willis, he says he's confident that he's going to pull a bigger percentage.
Howard's opponent is trying to unseat her former boss. 11 Alive's Hope Ford has more from Fani Willis's campaign.
Fani Willis worked with Paul Howard for 17 years. Today, she hopes to unseat him as Fulton County DA. Willis accuses Howard of having his own self-interest at heart when it comes to prosecuting cases. She says the incumbent isn't managing a stable office and recently politicized his office when it came to running ads involving the killing of Rayshard Brooks, which is an open case. Howard, meanwhile, criticized Willis for getting endorsed by the police union. Willis admitted to getting 2 contributions from the Atlanta chapter of the International Brotherhood of Police Officers in a recent interview with us. Willis says if she's elected, she plans to focus on a diversion program to get people who committed minor crimes back on track. She also promises a citizen review board that will look into the use of force policy by police officers. If elected, Willis will be the first black female district attorney in the county's history.
Has agreed to pay a $6,500 state ethics fine for failing to disclose his role as a CEO for 2 nonprofits.
One of those nonprofits paid DA Paul Howard at least $140,000 in city grant money to supplement his salary.
As senior I-Team reporter Del Russell reports, the fine comes days before a hotly contested runoff election.
All in favor, say aye. Aye.
By unanimous vote, the State Ethics Commission accepted a consent agreement that found Fulton County District Attorney Paul Howard violated campaign finance laws.
We're glad to get that resolved.
Howard, who is fighting for his political life, failed to report at least $140,000 he received from a juvenile crime prevention nonprofit he ran while acting as district attorney.
In Mr. Howard's case, he was taking on payments from nonprofits that he wasn't reporting. He was obligated to report those. There could be a far bigger issue, which is he was sitting in a public role as a DA and also taking on compensation from an outside source.
With the campaign finance violations behind him, Howard is still under criminal investigation for the same violations. Earlier, the I-Team reported the GBI is investigating how it was City of Atlanta grant money that was given to the nonprofit controlled by Howard. The majority of the money ended up as a salary supplement for the longtime district attorney.
I do know that there are other potential investigations and other issues that may be looked into.
The I-Team also reported how the GBI is investigating whether Howard's office issued grand jury subpoenas in the shooting death of Rayshard Brooks when there was no grand jury in session.
That request has been sent through the chain of command to the agents who are working this particular investigation. They're aware of it.
Former mayoral candidate Mary Norwood also reached a consent agreement with the commission about her mishandling of campaign contributions. The commission fined her $27,000 for accepting excessive campaign donations.
And for Ms. Norwood, I'm sure she wants to put this behind her and maybe put politics behind her. I don't know.
Atlanta City Councilman Michael Bond was given what the staff called a gentleman's agreement due to hardship to have more time to pay off an earlier campaign fine of $39,000. From Atlanta City Hall, Dale Russell, Fox 5 News.
See, I want y'all to pay attention to this clip that I just played, because even with the misuse of funds, when Norwood did it and Paul Howard did it, they was able to go to the ethics committee with proof and say, well, look, we found this or we seen this and this was illegal. You know what I'm saying? They don't have that on Fani Willis, because if they would have had her misusing funds, they would have enough evidence and stuff to go to the ethics committee. Then when you go to the ethics committee, apparently you only get a fine if you misuse funds. That's what they did at Norwood and Paul Howard. So I want to explain something else to y'all about these funds, and we're going to move forward. A lot of the times they was approving funding for the district attorney's office, and then when she would try to get the money, they would start giving her the runaround, acting like they didn't know what she was talking about. See, that's why people got to do their research and really see what funding and money she was able to access. And one of the fundings that they gave them was for salary adjustments. So she doing the stuff by the book. Check this out right here.
Representatives at those rates and those positions, if we are actually going to get that, or if we're going to keep going through this song and dance.
I don't know of a chart, so you're going to have to tell us about that, because I don't know about a chart. I haven't received. Has anyone on this board received a chart of positions or something?
I'm sure they're aware of the chart.
Yes.
I'm not sure exactly what chart she's referring to, but as we presented today, the budget for the court backlog reduction is now at $75 million versus 61. So it is fully allocated in terms of the resources that we have from the American Rescue Act. So now, I guess from a does she get it, I'll turn to Sharon, but now the process is that it's fully funded, the positions are allocated, and she has the ability to hire. But let me defer to Sharon.
Is this the sheet that you're speaking of that's coming?
Yes, Vice Chair Hall, that is the chart. These are the positions. Those were the rates of pay we were told. That was agreed upon. As you see, it is in writing, and I just want to make sure that it is honored because I did 2 transactions and already there were problems.
So who told you that this was approved? Because I don't see, I'm looking for the county manager, the chief financial officer, and the COO at least to be on here, and Hakeem, our director of finance, but I don't see any of them on here. On this email, it's coming directly from Shay Alexander, who isn't Shay still just a contractor?
Yes.
So she told you that this was approved?
Yes, we met with Mr. Adams and Ms. Alexander. We did that for months. We wrote out the positions. They met not only with my office, they met with every justice partner. We worked out the things, and then we were sent that this is the list of how you are to do things. And so then we began to do things in that order. And as I told you, transaction 1 and 2, problems already. And so those immediate 1 and 2 have been resolved, but I can't do that for transactions. I've heard you all today talk about hiring for different projects. And what I have to tell you is I've been hiring for the last 6 months, and every time it is difficult. And so I want to assure that what we said was going to be done is going to be done the way it was outlined for us.
Mr. County Manager, did you know about this document that was given to the DA and said it was approved?
Yes, ma'am. We met with the DA and discussed it with her recently. I think it was Friday.
Okay, and so it was approved then? Well,
fundamentally what the disconnect, I guess, if you will, was Shay, and don't let me speak for you, where did Alton go, but Shay and Alton were working with all the justice partners to outline the plan for court backlog reduction. When this document was put together, to the best of my knowledge, and you can look at this and somewhat surmise this, these salaries are rounded numbers, 75,000, 53,000, 80,000. They are not precise numbers. So as the DA went forward to hire based on this, which was essentially a consultant working document from Shay Alexander, as it so happened, the first 2 that went forward did not have a good coordination with HR, and an offer was made to 2 people that's slightly above the authorized salary grade, the higher limit of the salary grade.